If you have a sweet tooth like me and you still like being jacked and shredded all year round, then stick with me because I'm going to share with you some of my favorite peanut butters and how to not sacrifice what you eat in order to still get what you want, which is looking good and feeling good. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Petruso. I am not a fitness coach. I'm actually an entrepreneur who owns an insurance agency and a real estate investment company. I've done over $10 million in sales, and I basically just created a life completely on my terms. And I'm making this video today because the importance of feeling good, looking good, and not sacrificing what you like is how I was able to surpass what most people think is a dream, right? They don't think deeper about what they actually can accomplish and what they can actually have if they understand fundamentals about their life. So that's exactly what I'm going to go over first, because the first thing is most people, I was shockingly surprised that most people have no fundamental understanding of nutrition, right? And it's like I said, I'm not a fitness coach by any means. You could find this stuff a lot more in depth just by being curious. However, I'm gonna go over the main things that you need to be aware of when it comes to your nutrition. The first thing you have to understand are calories, right? Calories are basically just energy that you use throughout the day, right? And understanding the amount of calories or energy that you use versus the energy and the calories that you consume, if it is greater than what you are, if you're consuming greater than what you are, using, that means you are in a surplus of calories, meaning you will gain weight. And if you are eating less calories than you are using, so if you burn 2,000 calories in a day and you only ate 1,800, you're in a deficit, so you lose weight, okay? That's a fundamental piece. So if you understand that, you have to understand that. However, that is just the first piece, because there is a difference between 2,000 calories that are just purely all carbohydrates, all fats, and no proteins, versus 2,000 calories of a good amount of protein and then carbohydrates and fats to kind of fill in the difference. And people don't understand this. So I'm gonna break down, you have to understand the fundamental pieces of nutrition. You don't have to worry about all the little details and gimmicky things that people are trying to sell you on, because most people are trying to sell you on little details that, unless you're a freak athlete, you're already 8% body fat, and you're just trying to dial in to be the best possible version, okay, well, that's probably not where you should start, right? If you just are trying to look good, feel good, and eat things that are, pleasurable, then you have to understand the fundamentals first, okay? Then if you want to dive into all the nonsense afterwards and you're okay with it, go for it. But right now, let's get the fundamentals out of the way so you can do whatever you want and eat however you want when you travel, when you're going to parties. It's great. But I'm also going to show you how to do it with your peanut butters, right? So the first thing you have to understand is, like I said, calories are the energy that you're using throughout the day. And then how many calories you eat versus how many calories you use, right, is what you're going to be, whether in a surplus, a deficit, or maintenance, which is you're just staying the same. So now that we understand that, you have to understand what are carbs, fats, and proteins, okay? These are the three macronutrients, right, that make up what makes a calorie, right? Calories are energy, and the macronutrients are the fundamental things that you have to understand. So you have to understand what a protein is, you have to understand what a carbohydrate is, and a fat is, okay? All the other things are what are known as micronutrients, which you don't have to worry about until you master what the macronutrients are, okay? So that's when you hear people say, if it fits your macros. If it fits your macros, and then you know how to be jacked and tan and shredded all year round, then you can start worrying about the micronutrients. But right now, you have to understand the macronutrients. So a macronutrient, which is your proteins, fats, and carbs, are not equal. So why do I say that? Because let's say if we look at one of these containers, This specific peanut butter, well, let's look at this one. Well, this one's fine. So this one has 200 calories, right? And as you'll see, most of these are around 180 to 200 calories. Most peanut butters are usually anywhere from 160 to 200 to maybe 220 per 2 tablespoons. Okay, you always have to look at the serving, what's the serving size, and what are the calories that you're getting from that tablespoon. However, all calories are not created equal. Okay, the reason why that is because you have total fats, and you have, a lot of these micronutrients on here too, but you have fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Those are the most important things you need to be aware of. So now, how does it make up 200 calories? A gram of fat, right, is worth 9 calories. A gram of carbohydrates and a gram of protein are worth 4 calories, okay? So if something is 10 grams, but it's all fat, well, that is 90 calories. Versus if it's 10 grams and it's all carbohydrates, well, it's 40 calories. And if it's 10 grams and it's all protein, then it's 40 calories, right? Most things will be a mixture of all three, unless you're like a very lean chicken, fish, things like that. Those are gonna be mostly all protein, okay? And then you can get certain things that are just all fats, all carbohydrates. But when you look at peanut butters, most peanut butters are high in fat, right? Because it's from a peanut. A peanut oil is fatty, so it's a good fat, right? There's good and bad fats, but beside the point. But usually they have a lot of fats. So for instance, this specific one is 15 grams of fat, 8 grams of carbohydrate, and 7 grams of protein, okay? That's what equals the 200 calories, okay? The most important piece is understanding your proteins and your calorie intake, right? So if we know that we're eating something that is a little bit higher in fats, that's going to obviously take a bit more of my caloric intake for the day. And if I know that I want to be fit and strong and about my maintenance weight, which is like 170 to 175 pounds, well, that means I have to eat 1 gram of protein per body weight. So 170 to 175 grams of protein, okay? So if I multiply, let's just make it easy, say you're a 200-pound guy, right? A 200-pound guy, you need to have around 200 grams of protein throughout your day to maintain your muscle mass, okay? That 1 gram of protein is just to maintain your muscle mass, and that's what keeps you looking lean and fit. And the same 2,000 calories where you don't have any protein in it, you could just not be losing weight or gaining weight, but you look flabby, you could look kind of soft. A lot of people, that's called like the skinny fat. They just don't know how to get the proper amount of protein to keep their muscles at maintenance, at minimum, right? So 1 gram of protein on average for about your body weight. So let's say 200-pound guy, well, he's now gonna have a 800 calorie intake of protein. Most of the time, you're obviously not gonna eat just pure protein. There's gonna be carbs, there's gonna be fats and things like that. But let's say if you got that 200 grams of protein and you just try to get it through here, well, you would be so far over the limit of what your calorie intake is that it would push you over what your goal is, right? So with that being said, if you eat 200 grams of protein and each gram is worth 4 calories, and you're eating steak and chicken throughout the day, and let's say on an example, let's say it was just all lean chicken. Well, that lean chicken was all protein. You now ate 800 calories of protein. That's and you got 200 grams of protein. Now you basically have 1,200 calories. If 2,000 calories is your maintenance, right? You have 1,200 calories where you can eat whatever you want, right? This is where it gets fun because you can eat, things like this and mix it up. As long as you get enough protein in, the excess calories can be carbs, fats, whatever it may be, and you can dirty, bulk, whatever it may be. I've had a 6-pack for the last 20 years of my life because of this little trick. So if you understand your protein must be equally eaten each day, about your body weight if you're trying to maintain, and 1.5 grams if you're trying to build muscle, okay? So you must understand that first. Now, if you understand that, now you can have fun and try out a whole bunch of peanut butters. And most peanut butters, and this is actually a hazelnut, like a Nutella, they're mostly scams. Meaning, if I give you like a big protein, this is a protein peanut butter, all this other stuff, most all peanut butters usually have anywhere from 6 grams to 9 grams of protein per serving. They're all usually about similar, right, along that edge. Some might have a little bit more. So like for instance, this Nuts and More, I really like the Nuts and More. So these two Nuts and More, I have a chocolate maple pretzel and the birthday cake. The birthday cake's one of my favorites. And these ones both have 9 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbohydrates, and 12 grams of fat. So when you're doing that, let's say if you wanted to have 20 grams of your protein, that's fine. You're going to get 20 grams of protein out of this, and you're going to spend 400 calories, okay? So now you have to, how do I get the rest of my protein without going over my caloric intake? But the nuts and more, these are both very good. The consistency's good. It's a little thicker than I would like, but the birthday cake truly is a really good flavor, and it's hard to come by to find a good flavor and a good texture. So this one, the Nuts and More, I would say is a buy again. I like this one for sure. This one was marketing. It was trying to tell me, 80% better protein, all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And it's not made from peanuts. It's nasty. I wasn't a fan of this one. Wow Butter. I do not like the Wow Butter. I would not get this one again. It's 200 calories, and it's higher fat. So it's higher fat and lower protein. So I wouldn't get the Wow Butter again. I do like the Nuts and More, so I do like those ones. And then this one here, it's called Fit Butters. I was like, all right, I'll try this one out. This is the most expensive one, and I didn't love it. I did not love it. It's 200 calories, 15 grams of fat, 7 carbohydrates, and 7 protein. So this one has the most protein still at 9, and the least amount of fat. So the Nuts and More, still top tier. This one, it was just like kind of not that good. The texture was a little watery. I didn't love it. Monster cookie. They basically just throw in cookies, or like I think they're like M&Ms. They like throw pieces of M&Ms in with it, so it's like, I don't know, trying to make it good, but it's not that good. It's really, I wouldn't probably buy this one again, and it was the most expensive. So the Fit Butters, no. And then this one has been my favorite, the Peanut Butter and Company. Peanut Butter and Company, I've never actually had this one before, and is the white chocolatey wonderful. And this thing is really, really flavorful. Pretty standard on what the proteins and carbs are and fats are for a normal peanut butter. It's 180 calories as well. A little bit lower on the protein, unfortunately. It's 6 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, and 13 grams of fat. But this one tastes delicious. The white chocolatey, wonderful, has a really good texture. It's like a nice creamy one you can mix up, and it's a really solid peanut butter. I like this one a lot. But like I said, most peanut butters are going to usually be anywhere from around 6 grams of protein, maybe up to 10. So you're not really getting a ton of peanut butter or protein from a peanut butter. But if you understand your macros, you can still fit it in and understand that you're just spending, some excess calories for the fats and the carbs. It's okay to eat this stuff as long as it fits your macros, right? So that's a big thing. However, I want to be aware that at least peanut butters do give you some protein, 6 to 10 grams. So you're getting a little bit of protein to make yourself look good. However, unfortunately, if you do like Nutella or hazelnut spread like me, I do like these ones, but unfortunately, they are not as protein heavy, and they still have about the same calories. So for instance, this is just a hazelnut spread, but most Nutellas are very similar to this. This one is 200 calories, but it's 11 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbs and then 1 gram of protein. So this one actually has a lot of added sugar into it. So like the hazelnuts are unfortunately not as good. You know, if you're gonna try and hit your macros, it's not gonna give you really any protein. It's just gonna be mostly sugars and carbs. It tastes delicious, but unfortunately, you're not gonna get as many good macros. If you just wanna fill it in, not bad, but hazelnut unfortunately is not a good ingredient for staying lean, staying fit, and getting your sweet tooth in. Because you could eat some of this and still get, you know, a decent amount of your proteins in. Like this one has, like I said, 9 grams per serving. So if you had some extra calories and you wanted to get 30 grams of protein in, yeah, it's maybe 600 calories, but you got 30 grams of protein. So you got to enjoy a really nice, delicious treat, and now fill the rest of your 1400 with some more proteins and whatever you want. But that's kind of a little overview. Most proteins or most peanut butter are going to be similar to like the Peanut Butter and Company stats, which are like, you know, 6 to 8 grams of protein, 12 to 15 grams of fat, and then, you know, anywhere from 10 to maybe 15 grams of carbohydrates. So they're all usually, like I said, anywhere from 160 to 200 calories, right? So you could get just a regular Jif and it's gonna be like this. So don't be fooled by marketing, right? Like this was marketing, you know, Monster Cookie, Fit Butter, all this other stuff. It actually has less protein than the Nuts and More. And then this one, better quality protein. It's just not good and it's high in fats, but hopefully this saved you a little bit of time and effort if you're looking for good peanut butter. The ones I would recommend are the Peanut Butter and Co. and the Nuts and More. These ones I would buy again, most definitely. Fit your macros. You can, you know, get jacked, enjoy some sweet tooth like I do, and keep yourself moving. So hopefully, I know this is a little bit of a change up of a video, but it's something I'm interested in and makes you a little bit more curious when you're eating things. Don't just shove things in your face without understanding how they fit your macros, because the macros are the big picture. If you want to go into the nitty-gritty details of everything else, don't do it until you're jacked and you know exactly the foundation. So don't skip the foundation, understand the foundation, then you can start eating whatever you want. So if that was helpful, if it was entertaining, if not, that's fine too. If there's something else you want, you're interested about, comment below, like, subscribe, and follow me over on Instagram, MOVMATT, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.